So I'll just share with you briefly some of the other content pieces and examples of activities that we do. Week 2, moving forward, creating developmental goals, setting expectations and boundaries. I think I heard lots of questions about developmental goals and setting goals. I know many of your organizations talk about setting SMART goals. Can I get a show of hands if you talk to your participants about SMART goals, or if you use the resource library, which talks about SMART goals? Right, so a good number of you, not all of you. This is a good opportunity for me to share that we have been very careful to make sure that we are sharing information that won't contradict your internal information for your mentors. So we're staying kind of agnostic on some of those things. We don't spend too much time on SMART goals because we know that we have the resource library, and also many of you have already created a lot of content around SMART goals. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to take over what is already working for you, but we want to enhance it. And so instead of SMART goals, or instead of spending too much time on SMART goals, we talk about development goals. I don't know what happened there. And we talk about vision-focused goals. And this is part of what I share with Mentor Lab participants. This is a personal story of mine and why vision-focused is so important. I've been doing this a long time, longer than it looks like I've been doing it. And I've always told this story about this amazing research study they did with cardiac patients. Bear with me, I'm getting there. It's going to connect back, I promise. So cardiac patients. Patients who are notoriously bad at following medical prescriptives, medical advice to fix nutrition, to fix physical activity so that they can improve their health. I see some people nodding. I think you know what I'm talking about. And they did this study, and they said, even though we're telling people, if you don't change your behaviors, you will die, they still didn't. Why? You're saying it. Say it louder. It's hard. There's no plan, and it's hard. Changing your behavior is hard, right? Even in the most dire circumstances. So they took a group of cardiac patients, and instead of saying do this or else, they asked a question: what will you get to see? What will you live for if you live an extra 10 years or 20 years? And they talked about traveling the world with their spouse. They talked about seeing their grandkids. I still get goosebumps talking about this after all this time. And those patients changed their behavior permanently, much more significantly than the other patients. That's incredible to me. And I knew that's what we needed to bring into these mentoring conversations and these developmental goals. It's not just about, I need to write better emails. It's about, I need to write more concise and clear emails so that my team can operate more independently without me, as an example. So my personal story on this is I was actually at the ATD International Conference a couple years ago getting ready to go up and talk about this very topic. I had this study lined up, and I actually got a call. And my brother, who was 34 at the time, had had a heart attack and was getting a double bypass back on the East Coast, and I was in San Diego. And he's fine. But, and I was his emergency contact, and I was literally across the country, so it was devastating. What I said to everyone was, no matter what you do, don't tell him he needs to change his behavior or he'll die. Just ask him what he'll get to live for. Until I get there, that is the only thing you're allowed to ask him. And that was our tactic, and it seems to be working so far. So, real life application of what we learn, right? So developmental goals, super important that we help people understand they need to be descriptive, they need to be vision forward focused. Again, sign up for Mentor Lab, see what we're going to talk about at a deeper level there, but that's a nugget of what we're trying to equip mentors around. It's not just set developmental goals, it's why and it's how.